Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Zach Pasquarello. I am a certified QuickBooks Pro Advisor. I own Harrisburg Bookkeeping, and I own a box truck business, Route 20 Trucking Company. If you guys have been following along, you will know that I share my profit and loss every single week, and I just want to provide some unique perspective to anybody new to the business, box trucking, maybe cargo van expediting, hot shot, CDL, non CDL, whatever it may be. I hope I can provide some insight. So I started my business about 3 months ago. My authority went live in June, got my truck in July, and ran some loads in August. And now we are halfway through September. So I'm going to jump right into it. I did buy a second truck, so pretty excited about that. I wasn't planning on buying a second truck this quickly. I certainly haven't made any money in my business to buy a second truck because I don't drive. I just own the business. I don't drive the trucks. But I'm going to talk about buying the second truck, some lessons I've learned, and I will show you guys my QuickBooks as always. So just going to jump right into it, and I will head on over here to my QuickBooks. Okay, so this is my actual QuickBooks account, Route 20 Trucking Company, QuickBooks Online. If you guys need any help, feel free to email me, message me on Facebook. My phone number is on my website, harrisburgbookkeeping.com. I work with all sorts of businesses, but I specialize obviously in trucking and logistics companies, dispatchers, truckers, whatever. So I'm going to go week by week. Last video was, let's see, September 5th through September 11th. And this video will be September 12th through September 18th. So the second week in September. So as you guys might know, if you're following my channel, I have an 18-foot box truck, and it's a huge struggle to try to go over the road. Just to find any sort of good, consistent loads, paying $1.80 a mile, which is what I need to make money. Calculate your CPM. If you guys don't know how to, I made another video on how to calculate your CPM. Got a free Excel spreadsheet if you guys want that. But know your cost per mile, so that way you know how much money you need to make, so that you all, as a driver, owner, operator, can make a profit. So you definitely want to know your bottom line. You want to know your cost per mile. That way you know how much to accept on a load. So it's tough to find loads for anything less than a 24-foot box truck. You can't run with Amazon Relay. Most brokers don't want to talk to you if you don't have a 26-foot box truck. So if you guys are watching this and you don't have a truck yet, please, please, please just get a 26-foot box truck with a liftgate. Just don't even waste your time with anything else. Even if it's $10,000, $15,000 extra, I promise you, just please don't do what I did. Don't get a 16-foot, 18, 20, 22. Don't get it. Okay. It's good for other businesses, but if you're trying to get into trucking over the road or even local deliveries, like, it's not going to be good. But I will talk about a couple things after I go through my profit and loss. So it's pretty boring still. Second week of September, not a whole lot's going on, but as always, I'll just kind of walk you through it. My driver got stuck in Florida. So Florida, everyone knows, is kind of a terrible state. My dispatcher found a great load going from the Northeast all the way down to Florida. It was like 1,200 miles. The pay was okay for an 18-foot box truck, but we struggled to get out of Florida. So my driver was stuck down there. Couldn't really find anything good coming up. So last week, if you guys are running your books, you'll know in real time, like, the amount of money you're showing in your bank account is not necessarily how much revenue you're actually earning in real time, because of, quick pay, maybe factoring, timeliness, and then if you don't have quick pay or a factoring company, you're waiting 30 days to get paid. So you might have done 5 loads last week, but you got no income to show for it. So I recommend getting either a factoring company or just do quick pay every time. It's worth the 3%. I would always factor everything. That way, not only because you get the money faster, most importantly, you're not dealing with tracking down the brokers. You're not calling them after 30 days and hammering them like, "Hey, where's my money? Where's my money?" Let the big factoring companies handle all that. Pay the 3%. I promise will save you a lot of headache in the long run. So last week I only got paid for one run, and this was the load down to Florida. So I think it took my driver like 2 days to get down to Florida, and he ended up doing a couple of the loads last week that I haven't gotten paid for yet. So it looks like I only did one load last week, September 12th through September 18th, but I really did 3 loads. I just haven't gotten paid for them just yet. But for the second week of September, there is my revenue. Dispatcher fees, $170. So I paid my dispatcher the following week. So this $170 I paid my dispatcher is actually for the work completed the week prior. So he sends me an invoice on Saturday after every week, and then I pay him in 7 days. Same thing with my driver. So the amount of money I paid my driver is actually from 2 weeks ago. So everything is kind of lagging. So this isn't like in real time, how much money did I actually make last week. This is just kind of from an accounting perspective, like what's showing up in my checking account and what bills am I paying. So the work was completed, accounts payable, accounts receivable, those are all different than just the actual cash moving in and out of my bank account. But you should really only focus on the cash basis accounting, money actually coming in, money actually going out. It's called accrual basis if you want to look at accounts receivable and accounts payable, but you guys aren't going to do that for your bookkeeping purposes. Just stick to cash basis. So actual cash coming into my checking account, $1,600 last week, and then actual money going out. I paid for 4 nights in a hotel, paid my driver, paid my dispatching fees. So after I paid those 3 things, I ended up making almost $1,200. So not a bad week, but I will tell you one other thing, a couple other things. So fuel here, I switched from the EFS fuel card because it was a nightmare. The application was terrible. I switched to Fuel Man, and their app seems to be a lot more user friendly. So I pay my fuel every 7 days. So I didn't pay any fuel last week for my Fuel Man card, and I just paid my bill today. So every Monday I'll pay for fuel the previous week, which is only net 7, but that'll still help you free up some cash. So I would definitely recommend looking into Fuel Man if you guys are looking for a fuel card. Definitely use a fuel card. Don't use a credit card. Don't use a debit card. I would definitely recommend using a fuel card. They have some good perks and benefits, some good discounts with the fuel, because you're going to be spending a lot of money on fuel. I think I'm spending like $500 a week with just one truck on fuel. So still after labor and everything, I'm still sitting okay. $400 that I profited after paying my driver, paying just the $4 for fuel. I'm not sure what that was, but I think that those just might have been fees associated with my EFS fuel card. But that's all going to be done now. Just every Monday, I'll show you guys my fuel expense for the week. Factoring fees, that's the 3% that I talked about. So 3% of the $1,600. That's standard. If you guys have 5 or 10 trucks, you might be able to negotiate a lower factoring fee. But if you just have a couple trucks starting out, you're going to pay 2.99% factoring fees. So really exciting. I show it in the title of the video. I talked about it in the beginning, but I got a second truck. So I'm super pumped about it. And it's a 26-foot box truck. And like I said, I really wasn't planning on getting another box truck, but this deal was just too good to pass up. I got a 2010 International box truck for a little over 20 grand. So super good deal. It needed a little bit of a TLC to get it up and running. Not really though. It really wasn't that bad of condition. 250,000 miles, which is pretty standard for trucks. It's a diesel engine. It's a Max Force engine. Now I know Max Force engines had some problems 2008 to 2015, but fingers crossed. Hopefully this truck stays healthy. But one thing that did go, and I was planning on running my 26-foot box truck last week, but I wasn't able to. So that's why I was only able to do a couple loads, because the belt in my box truck just kind of went to crap. It fell off. A couple bolts went loose. I was afraid the ERG cooler might need to get replaced, and worst case scenario, maybe the turbo had gone bad. I was looking at potentially anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 of repairs on this truck that I just got. But luckily, it was only the belt and the bolt that needed to be replaced. And I went to like a dealership, an international dealership, to get it fixed, and they charged me $150 an hour for 6 hours just to replace the belt and the bolt. So needless to say, I'm never going back there again. I learned my lesson. I'm going to try to find someone else who doesn't charge $150 an hour, because in Pennsylvania, I mean, maybe if you're in New York City or Los Angeles, $150 an hour is okay, but not here in central Pennsylvania. I mean, I've got other mechanics who charge $80 to $90 an hour, so I'm just going to stick with them. I thought the dealership might have been able to diagnose the truck a little bit better, because I was worried about the ERG cooler going out, so I wanted to take the International to a dealership so that they could run all the proper tests, because I just wanted to play it safe. But I ended up paying $1,500 just to get the belt and bolt fixed. Unbelievable. I'm still pretty upset about it. So because of that, I ended up taking a pretty big loss last week, negative $1,200. But hopefully with this new 26-foot box truck, I will be in the positive this week. I've got my driver going out to Illinois, and then he's going to go from there. He's going to drive all 5 days. And then probably the most exciting news that I've had throughout running this whole business, I finally found a local contract for my 18-foot box truck. And probably my biggest piece of advice to anybody out there who has a truck less than 24 foot, if you're struggling, you got to remember that your box truck business, first and foremost, is a business. So don't be afraid to get on the phone and do some cold calls. Treat it like any other sales job. Treat it like any other business. You got to reach out to local companies, local manufacturers, suppliers, distributors, and you just do those cold calls. Let them know that you've got your own authority, you've got insurance, you've got drivers, you've got box trucks. It might be 16, 20 foot, but rely on those local contracts for the box trucks that are smaller, because from load boards, you're not going to get it. I promise you, you're not going to get good paying, reliable loads from load boards for anything less than a 24-foot truck, but you can get dedicated and expedited work. So expedited just means like quick, real quick. In the next 2 hours, I need this pallet delivered. And dedicated is what I got into. A local distributor has a contract with Home Depot and Lowe's, and they're paying pretty good every single day for local delivery. So my 18-foot truck is going to be dedicated to this local distributor, and I hired a new driver just last week, interviewed it on Thursday, trained him up on Friday, met with him today, went over all the details, and he's starting tomorrow. So I officially have 2 trucks, 2 drivers, and they're both running, fully operational as of tomorrow. And he's doing dedicated delivery. So for Lowe's and Home Depot, he's delivering like grills and trampolines and exercise equipment. It's all in boxes. So he will have to, put it up on a dolly or a pallet jack and use the lift gate, drop it down and put it in their driveway or their front porch. But it's not in-home delivery. There's no installation. So it's not like he's delivering a refrigerator and he has to plug it in and install all the wires. And it's not like white glove delivery. He's not delivering a mattress to someone's third floor master bedroom. He's not delivering a massive sofa to someone's basement living room. So it's not that bad. It is still touch freight. So he is, using the dolly and the pallet jack to take the boxes off the truck. But it's local deliveries. He's home every night. I'm paying him $25 an hour. And I'm going to use these local deliveries as kind of an introduction to my business. So I kind of turned a horrible situation into something I think I can make positive. So I'm going to continue buying 26-foot box trucks for over-the-road long hauls, but I'm going to use this 18-foot box truck just to kind of basically train up, test out, and get some experience on my new driver. So hopefully this guy's going to drive these local deliveries with the 18-foot for the next 2 or 3 months, and then I'm going to buy another 26-foot box truck. I'm going to kind of graduate him to over-the-road 26-foot long hauls. I'll pay him 55 cents a mile like I pay all my other drivers. I pay 75 cents a day for hotel fees because, as you guys know, box trucks don't really have sleeper cabs. So $25 an hour for the local deliveries, 55 cents a mile for the over-the-road long hauls, and then $75 a day for a hotel. So I'm super excited. After 3 long, stressful months, I think I finally have a breath of fresh air. I've got full-time work for both of my trucks. I've got full-time drivers for both of my trucks. So hopefully next week I will have some positive numbers to report to everybody. But this week, once again, another $1,200 lost, and mostly due to that belt and that bolt coming loose on the truck. So it just overheated instantly. Luckily, my driver pulled over immediately, so no damage was done to the ERG cooler. The turbo was fine. I just had to pay a premium, $150 an hour, and it took him 6 hours allegedly to fix it. So that's the video, guys. That is September week 2 in the books. Please stay tuned. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Continue watching these videos. I'm going to keep talking about my profit and loss every single week. I'm really confident. I'm really hopeful. I think next week I will be in the positive. Fingers crossed. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out my website, harrisburgbookkeeping.com, if you are a trucker or if you're a business owner and you have any QuickBooks, taxes, accounting, any questions like that. I'd be happy to help. Give me a call, send me a message. I appreciate you all watching, and I will talk to you all in the next video.